Hey guys, welcome back to Lovely Conversations YouTube and podcast channel. My name is Alexandra Lee and I'm your beautiful host, and sitting next to me is
Christopher Lee.
my beautiful co-host and husband. And today Chris is going to run the show for the most part. I'm just going to do the intro and the outro, but he's going to handle the song of the week and the content. This is all him. So with that being said, if you are returning Lovely Squad, we appreciate you holding us down, being in the trenches with us. Welcome back. If this is your first time, sit a while, stay a while, watch a while. And after you watch for at least 5-10 minutes, if we're your vibe, then be sure to hit that subscribe button and then like the video, comment on the video, join the conversation. But most of all, be sure to hit that notifications bell and select all so that you get this content every Wednesday.
Every day.
Not
every
day.
Wednesday.
Every Wednesday. We don't have that kind of time, y'all.
Oh, no, we don't.
With that being said, we always give a song of the week, and so Chris is going to take over from here, and I'll see y'all with the outro.
All right. So the song of the week is going to be Land of the Free by Joey Badass. And I brought up the lyrics. I just want to read what the hook is. Still got the last. Where is it? There it is. And the land of the free is full of freeloaders. Leave us dead in the streets, then be your organ donors. They discouraged my people and made us all loners. Still got the last names of our slave owners. And the land of the free is full of freeloaders. Then repeats it. Leave us dead in the street, then be your organ donors. They discouraged my people and made us all loners. That last part is, when I first listened to the song, it stuck with me. We still have the same names as our slave owners. And this song has a lot to do with today's topic, which is the movie Antebellum. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but yes. So the link to the video is going to be in the description. He has a music video to it.
Okay.
And I don't know if he has a lyric video, but the audio or either the lyric video will be in the description as well.
All right.
All right.
And what's our topic for today, love?
The topic is going to be, it's about the movie Antebellum, but I have a whole, it's called Antebellum Thoughts.
Okay.
Question mark, like,
Okay.
All right. So without further ado, we're just going to jump into it.
Let's do it.
Yeah. All right. So the first question, well, how we're going to do it is I'm going to ask the question. When I ask the question, you give me your thoughts on it and I'll give you my thoughts on it.
Okay.
That way.
So to be clear, you guys, can I jump in a little bit?
Yes.
Okay, so to be clear, you guys, we just watched this movie. We had we're vacationing right now. Chris is on vacation.
Yes.
I've been on vacation thanks to quarantine. And we are just, enjoying ourselves, doing some things. And we got to get a couple of movies, and we've watched some pretty good movies to be
Yes, we have.
We even watched a movie with Trey Songz that we didn't think was going to be good.
Oh, God.
But it was good.
It was good. It was very decent.
Yeah, so with that being said, we watched Antebellum as well. And I hadn't heard anything about it, but we're going to get into everything. But we just watched it, so these are fresh reviews. We're going to do our best not to give any spoilers.
Yes.
But we're going to also get into
We
it.
just watched it, I believe, last night.
Yes, we literally just watched it last night.
So we haven't went back and noticed little bitty things here and there. And
no.
We just watched it and given our initial thoughts.
All right, let's go.
All right. So the first question is, what were your thoughts initially about the movie after you saw it? I guess this is
once we watched
the whole thing.
So for me, I'm like, this is really going on. Like, my initial thoughts, like, it caught me off guard.
It caught you off guard, yes.
It wasn't until a certain point that I realized what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And then after the fact, I'm like, I literally have a thought that's going on. Like, literally, I had a lipstick on earlier. And I feel some type of way. So I feel like
that type of stuff is actually...
Yeah. So that's my initial thoughts, is like, this is actually real life.
Okay.
Could happen.
Yeah, I think so too. But my initial thoughts, because unlike her, I didn't come into the movie blind. I've seen like sneak peek trailers.
Yeah,
I've seen those on Instagram where it's like real quick flashes, and I knew it had to do something about slavery, but they were showing a lot of modern day things as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of took me for a loop, and it got to the point to where I was like, I don't know if I want to see another slave movie.
Yeah.
But then like it showed like current day stuff,
It's so
and
twisted.
and it made me think, well,
What's going
I
on?
guess I'll just watch it to find out
Yeah.
what it was. But
Exactly.
initially, it was a pretty decent movie, and it was if you don't pay attention and you just jump into it at a certain point,
You won't know what's going
you're
on.
gonna be lost.
Yeah.
So that was my thoughts initially on the movie.
Okay.
It was an overall decent movie.
Mhm.
Okay, number 2. How did the first half of the movie make you feel? Like when they hit you with it, when you realize, oh, okay.
Well, it was what initially made me start feeling some type of way was I don't know how not to spoil it, was when she talked to her. And so like she talked to her via I guess the computer.
Oh, that's not the beginning of the movie. I'm talking about like the very first half of the movie where it first comes on.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Okay. My
Yeah.
bad, y'all.
You're getting ahead of yourself.
Yeah, so immediately I thought we was watching another slave movie. I was like, Chris, this is not the time. This is not the
Oh
energy I
man, I
want.
didn't want to see that either.
Yeah, so initially I thought we was watching like the first half made me feel like we was watching another slave movie, and I was like, where is this going? What's going to happen? Because, honey, I don't want to see this.
Not at all. And for me, it was like when you've seen as many movies as I'm pretty sure a lot of people have seen a lot of movies, but I've seen a lot of movies, and a lot of the movies I've seen had to do with slavery, and I got to the point where I was like, you know what, I don't even really need to finish the rest of this. And I was talking with you, and I was like, yeah, I don't want to see nobody get hanged. I'm tired of seeing
Yeah.
people getting pulled apart
Yeah.
and all of that. And it was just, I can watch it in certain contexts, but this just to see how they treated us back then is not something I just want to just watch over and over again. And at
Yeah.
this point, there's been so many just slave movies that's just been out and not even told by black directors.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things that got me. I'm not sure who directed this. I believe Jordan Peele had something to do in it,
Yeah.
but I don't know if he directed it. And that first half of the movie almost made me just want to cut it off because some of the stuff that was in there was just gut wrenching.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And remember, I was able to tell you about the bells. You didn't know that.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's the beginning. You like, okay, okay.
That
And,
was his wife, I believe.
yeah, and the way he brought her back, I couldn't. So
Yeah,
yes, you're right. Yes, I couldn't. Okay, all
and
right.
still put him in that thing.
I can't. Like now, I'm thinking of it all again. Like
Yeah,
it was just,
it was very.
it was.
Yeah.
They spare no details. Okay,
Nah.
none. All right.
Okay. Number 3. What did you think about the climax of the film, which would be where I think what you was talking about?
So
No,
for me, it was
no.
multiples.
Wait, it's still. What did you think about the climax of the film? Once you hear that certain noise, what was your thoughts?
Okay, so I was like, what's
Yeah, when
going
she's
on?
in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I was
She's
like,
in the room with him.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, what's going on? Like at this point, I had so my husband's very good with foreshadowing and reading the movie before we get to that point.
Which I need to stop doing.
And he hadn't did that for me in this movie, so I was completely lost watching it because I was confused on some of the scenes and how they were, transitioning,
Because
with.
at that point in my mind, I'm like, okay, I know how this is going to go, but I didn't want to do that to this movie. I didn't want to try to spoil anything for
So
you.
you knew at that point.
I knew I feel like I knew a little bit.
At that point, I felt like it was stupid. I'm like, why are they trying to make this current age, or like, why are they trying to make this make sense for now to then? And I was like, why are they doing that? Like, it didn't ding on me. it didn't ding on me until it was too late for it to ding on me.
Yeah.
So the climax, I was like, what's going on here? But then he was talking a certain way, and he brought up, I'm guessing, was her daughter. Because he was like,
oh yes.
So I was like, what are they talking about? You know? And so, like, to me, I was like, okay, something's like, something's transition, something's happening. And so it got my mind to thinking, to start putting it together and process. And I was like, oh.
Because I think what made you feel that way is when the movie first comes on, there's a quote saying something about you can't erase the past or something like that, where it was basically they're playing on that throughout the whole movie.
Yes.
So I forgot what it was called. I forgot what it was.
The exact quote.
Yeah, I forgot the exact quote, but they're playing on.
Can we drop it?
Yeah, we can drop it down.
We'll drop the quote for you guys.
But they're playing on that throughout the movie to make it seem like it's something else.
Excuse me, exactly.
Like ancestors type thing.
Yes, yes. So that's why I was like, whoa, what's going on?
Yeah, so for me, the climate, when I saw that, I was like, oh, okay. Okay, I think I know what's going on. Still unsure about what was going on.
Can I say, I thought she was daydreaming.
Yes,
I thought she was having bad dreams.
That would play.
Or daydreaming.
So, yeah, so when it goes back into the current. Yes.
And then so I'm thinking she's asleep again, and she having a bad dream because she woke up initially.
Yeah, and he said, did you have a bad dream? You had a bad dream again? That's what I thought was going on. I mean, that's what I was thinking was going on, too, until that one part.
Okay.
I was like,
I was like,
all right, now something ain't right.
Okay.
Okay, number 4.
You guys, we're trying to talk about this to make you watch it.
I feel like we're gonna have to end up spoiling it to actually.
No, we can't spoil it. Like, I feel like you guys should just go watch it. We're trying our best to just tell you about it without spoiling it.
Yes, because I mean the best thing to do, if you don't know anything about it, don't read up on it, don't look at trailers. Just go in blind
like I did. I went in blind.
I don't have the luxury of going in blind because I watch trailers. That's what. That's one of the things I do is I just watch trailers.
I went in blind and it was good for me. I think I enjoyed it more because I did go in blind, because sometimes when he finds a good trailer, he shows the trailer to me. And sometimes in the trailer, you can see some really good stuff about the movie. And so I think it was very good that I went in blind, because I was just sitting here on the couch like.
But the good thing about the trailer, that the sneak peek trailer that I saw, it was on Instagram. And so it was shot full screen.
Yeah.
And like you didn't know what was going on. It was glimpses, like just boom, boom, boom. Shot of the eye, shot of her waking up, and shot of her rising up, and then that was it.
Yo, that rise.
Then it said Antebellum.
Well, she I said, okay, yoga.
Yes, exactly. And like how she bent over that.
Yeah,
that was dope.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
All right.
Y'all gotta watch it.
You gotta see. It's different.
Yeah.
Okay, number 4. What do you think these movies say about how we are seen in today's climate? So again, what do you think these movies say about how we are seen in today's climate?
I think that it shows that the chains are still there. They're just, we can't see them. They're not physically on us. But I think that it shows that the chains are still there, even though we physically can't see us chained. I think it shows that how we're viewed still, and what we see, how we're valued, and what we bring to the table essentially is based off of from the beginning of times, and from slavery, and from, everything we're facing right now in the police brutality, racism, being a black man, being a black woman, and just having the daily battles of what that is alone, not to mention if they feel some kind of way about how you dress, your character, what you do, if you're smart enough, if you're educated, non-educated, just to be how so many checks you got to check out just to survive. Like to see that you can be, if you're powerful, you're feared. If you're not powerful, you're feared. It's just a fear of unknown that they feed off of, and we they know if we come together, we gonna be something great and
Exactly.
powerful. But they know we won't come together and be something great and powerful. So they are able to still, in my opinion, we are going to see this, see this. And I think that this movie is showing how we're still seen and how they want us to be handled and how we could possibly be handled, how, like I said, it can still be happening currently, which it is in some kind of ways, from human sex trafficking
Exactly.
to people just taking people in general to people are still being sold and bought. Like that ain't
Yes,
changed,
that still
So
hasn't changed.
I just feel like it just kind of shows that we are all still chained, even though you can't see the chains.
All right. Mine has something to do with that, but mine's when it came to me doing it, well, my thoughts on it is they're trying to shut up or erase the powerful people. Like how they killed Martin Luther King,
Yeah.
Malcolm X,
Yeah.
and all of that. Everybody that was in a position of power and that was trying to get everybody to see eye to eye or either show what they were up against.
Yes.
They found a way to silence them.
Yes.
They found a way to either kill them or they found a way to imprison them or assassinate their character
and belittle them.
And then belittle them.
And take. They wanted to take that from them. They wanted to make them feel again.
Exactly.
Yes. Yes.
And that was my first take on it. And the second take was that when you're afraid of what you don't know, and what they did is they took them and they tried to do those same techniques that they did back in the day, where they tried to strip them of everything they knew. They tried to strip them of their name.
Yes.
They tried to strip them of right from wrong. They didn't want them to speak unless spoken to. They didn't even want them to speak amongst themselves. And like unless they were spoken to,
or unless he told them to sing.
Yes, unless he told them to sing. He didn't want them to sing. He wanted them to whistle.
You're right. Yes,
and it was that one part right there. Well, not that one part, but that part is what I saw into the movie, and it blew my mind because it's like no matter what you do, they're going to find a way to get rid of the person that's trying to bring change.
Yeah.
Because if it's not the change that they want,
now.
It's happening. It's still happening now.
It's happening currently.
And if it's not the change that they want, they're going to find a way to get to make it to where you don't exist.
Yeah.
So that was my thoughts on that part. And number 5. Okay, how did the second half of the movie make you feel when you start finding out what started to happen? Like the computer, like when she was talking to her through the computer.
But that wasn't the second half.
That was like
that was before,
because the first half is
the
like
sound.
I'm saying, but like the first half, that slavery part, that was like 30 minutes.
That's true.
And then that computer, after that, it goes back, doesn't it?
Yes.
But after that computer conversation, it goes back. So I would say
for a moment, it goes to them just having fun.
Yes, that's right before
she arrives.
Yes, right before she arrives.
So but the sound of the climax had happened. So the second half of the movie for me is once the second batch of people come.
Oh, okay, yes. Yeah. I see what you mean.
Yeah.
This is so hard to talk about without spoil.
Yeah, so the second half for me, when I saw, because now I'm clicking right, I'm like, these people don't look like slaves. Like, these people look like you and me, everyday people. Like, someone grabbed me and took me to a plantation. Mm-hmm. Like, so now in my head, I'm like, whoa. Like, wait. So then second half of me is like, this is crazy. And then when I realized why she recognized her when she came to her, And I was like, oh snap, she recognizes her because
Yes.
like I'm like, oh wait a minute.
She was one of them followers.
She was one of the followers, and so she was like, if anyone can do this, it's you. And I'm like, okay, she's Harriet Tubman vibes. But then
Exactly.
I was like, but this is why she's Harriet Tubman vibes. And and then to go back to when he was like, you got your friends killed, but he's considered her precious and wouldn't, do nothing to her. And I was like, oh snap. So for me, I was like, oh, they done lost their minds. Like they are literally handpicking people and literally, like you said, trying to strip them of everything
they know.
And I'm just like, whoa, like, and then baby girl wasn't going for it.
Oh nah.
And I hate that she wasn't going for it. Nah. Like, and you could tell she was either gonna get out or she was gonna die there. Like those are her only options. So
that's how I felt about the whole situation. Like,
especially when she said she was what she said she was.
Yeah. This is so hard to talk about.
I know, you guys. And I was like, oh, dang. Like, it is real. Like, this ain't from another slave. This is, oh, y'all.
Yes.
Y'all, like, and I was like, her husband could, oh, my God. So I was like, okay. So for me, I was like, nah, man. Like, they really out here. And then she had her daughter come. And she had her daughter name them. And I was like, geez, like... Me and Chris always say we wouldn't have survived back then. But then you have to think, like, would you or would you not really? Because it's easy to say that now looking back, right? But, back then, like, you lived or you died. And so many people, more people lived than died. So, like, would you had just grew up and lived and hopefully one day?
That's the thing. I'm not sure. I feel in my heart that I would have tried to start some type of retaliation or some type of something. I don't, but then again, that's today standards. But I just feel.
I feel like if I was still that rebellious, free spirit soul that I am now, and I was still that person then.
If I was still the same person now that I was.
Yeah.
Like what happened in the movie.
Yeah.
If they took me the way I am now.
Yeah.
Oh, nah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then again, that's another thing also, because back then,
what if you wanted to survive?
I was going to say, back then, they had kids. They were having kids on those plantations, and those kids grew up only knowing that.
Yeah.
So, what were you finna say? I'm sorry, I cut you off.
I was saying, what about now, even if it was the case now, you just wanted to survive? Do you think that you would still be revolutionary, or do you think that you would just get there and try to survive?
That's the thing. I wouldn't see that as surviving.
I wouldn't see that as living.
Yeah, I wouldn't see that as living at all.
Yeah.
And it's just hard because a lot of stuff hasn't changed from that.
No. And it's unfortunate because everyone that did die or lost their lives and was, whether they lost it or put in that thing, they'll never be accounted for again.
Yes, they'll never be accounted for again.
So,
and they'll never be able to know exactly who was there.
Yeah, because they weren't allowed to talk, speak,
they weren't allowed to talk to each other.
So unless you recognize each other, then that was it. So everyone who was, it's just bad. It's just bad. Okay, babe. Okay.
Oh, man. Okay, number 6. What do you think the ending of the movie explains? This is like at the very end, the climax where getting chased.
I think it shows that we have a fight.
Yes.
We have a fight in front of us that's not going away. We can't close our eyes. We can't turn our heads. We can't ignore it. We have a fight in front of us, a fight that we have to be willing to die for, to be honest. Like, there is a huge fight in front of us that we have to be together on, united on, a front on, to be able to conquer it, because otherwise you're going to see no change. So you have to be able to understand that there is a fight. You can fight the way you want to fight, but you got to fight.
Exactly. And for me, it was just seeing how that whole last part plays out And she, when he's talking about surviving, she did what she had to do to survive and make the best out of the situation. And she learned, like, from the time she's there, you're seeing her learn certain steps, how to move, how to do certain things, timing everything correctly, and in the end, it pays off. And dog, I don't want to give nothing away.
You can't. No spoilers. We doing our best not to give. We done gave y'all some content, but we doing our best not to give you spoilers of what's really going on.
Because when she get on that horse and start riding, and she does to the white lady
what they did, yes,
move.
Yes. So I will say that they didn't swear any details again. So yeah,
And it's just like it explains, like the last couple of scenes, last couple of seconds explains how being free must have felt, how being liberated must have felt, and because when she's
and
just
how victory feels.
yes, how victory feels.
Yeah.
But it was just something to see that everything that she went through, and I feel like it just spit everywhere.
Okay.
But because I've seen it come out of my mouth, I don't know.
Oh,
If they see it, but
okay. I'm not seeing it. So
okay, I guess I'm good. All right. But everything that she went through just to get to the to that point, it was like how would you say, a breath of fresh air, or I guess just liberated. She felt like it's just hard to say anything without giving it away.
I think you said it. So let's just move on to the next question.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, because you can't do it on it too long because you're gonna say something you don't need to say. So
I don't want to say nothing. I don't need to. But that whole little sequence, though, I love how it was shot. The slow motion, and that whole thing was shot in slow motion, just so you can actually feel her pain. And if the camera's not far away, it's like on her face the entire time. You see every tear, every piece of blood, and just everything. It's just I like that. Okay, we're on 6. So, all right, number 7. How does this movie compare to the current Birth of a Nation movie?
So I feel Birth of the Nation let us down.
Yes.
I feel like,
but also you got to think about it, at the time, that would have been the only movie like that.
What we needed it.
Yes, we needed it.
And it should have been the way we needed it. It should have been, I feel like he did his best to bring us that story. But because of the industry and who he's against, he had to taint that story in some kind of way just to get the story out. And so I definitely love that the story is out and the story is there. But I feel like in comparison to this movie, they didn't really hide and hold back no punches. Like, they allowed what was happening to happen.
Exactly.
Whether it was black or white. And I think that that's the reality. That's the truth. And if you're going to do a movie as so, then you should show the realities and the truth, not band-aid something to make somebody else feel good about it. And I'm definitely not saying we're for violence or for, that kind of, lifestyle and or treasons, but definitely if you're going to tell a story, especially with something dealing with slavery, then don't just sugarcoat it and band-aid it to make white people feel comfortable, black people feel comfortable, any other race feel comfortable. If you're going to try to tell our story, then tell our story, you know what I mean? And don't hold back from it. They don't hold back on nothing else. Exactly. We got so many different kind of movies and genres out there that don't hold back on nothing else. So I don't think it's fair to hold back on something that is you're trying to tell us about that we went through. You know what I mean? So if you gonna tell us about it and make a movie about it, then be in it. Do it 100%.
Yes. I feel like the part that you're talking about is at the end.
Yes.
Of the
absolutely.
It's basically, it's called it's the Nat Turner movie. So you talking about the end of the Nat Turner movie?
Yeah.
How they Like they
The
showed,
climax of that they didn't let really be the
yeah, the
climax.
climax. It didn't bring it home
It needed to.
like Antebellum did.
Yes, Antebellum brought it home.
Antebellum brought it home, but yeah, it's because there's one scene in that movie where he said that nobody was spared, man, wife, or
Yeah.
child, and I think in there all you see him do is go in the house and him just come back out and say that nobody was spared.
Which this might be like a double standard. I don't want to see that. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't wanted to see that, but at the same time, they let everything else be shown. They showed how the black people was killed, how the black people were handled,
Mm-hmm.
but they didn't let it be shown the other way around. And I think that's why that movie had to like rebuttal that it had. It's like, dang, okay, so you show how we got handled, but when it was time to show it the other way around, y'all just
Yes, I see exactly where you're coming
yeah,
from as
y'all just
well.
kind of tiptoe do that like it happened, but you ain't gonna see it.
Mm-hmm.
Compared to Antebellum, they was like you gonna see it and you gonna feel it.
Phew, so we were on. Oh yeah, yeah. So for me, I feel the same way, the same exact way that you feel about it.
Okay.
She just they didn't. It was nothing to be spared.
I mean, from any point of the movie, not even just the end when it goes down,
Mm-hmm.
like just throughout the
The whole
emotions,
movie.
they pull on your emotions, the
Yes, that's
rawness. Like
exactly. They do a good job.
yes,
That's what they do a good job of.
like
Cause
when the cars went their separate ways,
yes,
I was like,
you
no,
see them having a
look,
good time,
no, look. I
and
was like,
she's just
oh,
yelling, she's
yes, yes,
kicking,
yes.
and nothing.
Yes. Okay. I think that was a little bit of a spoiler, but let's keep going.
So I mean, just
Like it's like all
make sure
kinds.
you in your Uber.
My God, because I swear, like now I won't do that. Like I
Don't
don't,
just get in. Make sure you in your Uber.
I can't do it.
I never liked Uber.
You didn't, and you hated when I did it for the time that I did it. So now I'm just like, because that's crazy. Those kind of stories have been happening.
That's the same thing. Yeah.
So they're playing on things that's really happening. Okay, all right, keep going, cause, woo.
Sorry about that. All right. Number 8. How did you feel by the end of the movie?
I'm gonna go back to how I said it. I feel like that's really happening. Like now, I think I'm more conscious of some.
Not if it's happening or anything, because you're getting ahead again.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
how did it make you feel, like emotionally?
Um, it made me feel
You said made you feel what?
raw,
Raw.
um, vulnerable. It almost kind of made me feel helpless too, like
I can see that.
like you're just like how they really view us. You know what I mean? How we're
Mm-hmm.
viewed. It gives you a feeling of not being safe. But then on the flip side, it makes you aware.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you open. It makes you understand that you got to be prepared to survive. And that you can't put nothing past no one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And for me, part of what you're saying as well. And the question is, the movie made me feel like we all need to seriously talk, because the type of stuff that happened there is like there's no way that it can be avoided, because the type of stuff that they did, like hotel room, found out where she was, um all this stuff, people do it now. Like there's been there's just like how fans can find out where a celebrity is going to be, or like your favorite artist, you can find out what hotel he's going to be in. Just be more cautious. It makes me want to be more cautious and try to protect anybody as much as I can, anybody you care about as much as you can, because like the way everything happened, it happened like that, and I felt I felt sad. I felt emotional. I felt I felt helpless because her husband
Mm-hmm.
couldn't even do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Her friends couldn't even do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're thrust into a whole nother situation and you're trying to find your way back out where you're not around anybody you know immediately. You're not around you're around a whole situation of people that have nothing to do with you,
Mm-hmm.
and they're trying to get out of the same predicament, and y'all all are trying to get out of it. And then it goes also to how you was talking about surviving, because she endured everything that she had to do
To
to make
survive.
sure that her plan was going to be executed correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like now, even in today, it's gotten to the point where you have to train your, if you have kids, you have to train them. If you have brothers and sisters, you have to train them how to talk to police, how to deal with them, how if you get pulled over, make sure you have all your stuff all ready,
Mm-hmm.
because you could fear for your life and it can just be taken away so easily.
Mm-hmm.
Everything in that movie was taken away so easily.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like there was um no remorse,
Mm-mm.
and the people that did it, they had no regrets.
Mm-hmm.
And because I don't know how, after how long, but if you're considered missing, you're considered missing.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to already write you off as dead
Mm-hmm.
after a certain amount of time. So I'm just thinking how long some of them people have been there.
Mm-hmm.
And
I just want to know how they had all this stuff.
what do you mean? What stuff?
Like, was it a real live plantation?
That's the thing. I don't know. I don't know if it was a real life plantation, because once you get towards the end, is the camera starts zooming away of where they're actually at,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know.
Okay.
Let's go to the next. All right, the last question that you kept getting ahead of is: do you think this type of stuff can actually happen?
Yeah, it is happening.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that situation is happening, but I definitely
That's the thing.
question
I
it
hope
now.
that isn't.
Like,
But
that's crazy. Like, if they have brought, like, because think about everybody that's missing ain't been found.
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And just to, I was looking at something somebody shared on
And
Facebook.
bodies haven't even been found.
Yeah, but I just looked on something for Ohio. The month of July, so many young women were took between the age of 15 and 17.
I think I remember seeing something like that.
And like they were some on the same day in different parts of Ohio, and some were days apart, but it was the month of July for 2020. All women between the age of 15 and 17, and they have not been found. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, I'm like, could that, like, that's crazy. So that's why I said we are still being sold, we are still being bought, we are still being took, we are still being forced in some to some kind of form of slavery. And so yeah, absolutely, you know. And for me, someone who has physically been attacked, who has physically experienced some traumas, you know, and like that, it naturally raises my anxiety,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I'm very aware, you know, but even as aware as I am, I'm just me, you know, like,
Mm-hmm.
and if I you just never know. Like, I don't. It's crazy. It's a
Mm-hmm.
crazy feeling, you know. And I think that that's why I prefer to move around with someone.
Exactly.
I prefer to definitely have you. You know, I try to be mindful of the hours of times and coming and going. You know, and watch my surroundings if I am by myself,
Mm-hmm.
because the reality is that, you know, even if it's not that level, it could happen. You know.
Mm-hmm. And for me, I feel this type of stuff can happen and is happening, whether it be as extreme as this was. Well, whether it doesn't be extreme, I'll keep fumbling over my words. Whether it's as extreme as this was,
Mm-hmm.
or anything similar. I mean, you hear it. You hear it every day. Somebody's been kidnapped. Just like she was saying, young girls are getting kidnapped, and young black women are getting kidnapped, and it's and they're never found. So yes, I feel like stuff like this is actually still happening. And what it seems like they were trying to do was it was powerful people, but sometimes it's not just powerful people. It's just
It's
your regular everyday
everyday.
person, and just be careful.
It just people pay attention. People watch when you think they're not watching when they're not paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like for me to have be doing hair, and for how that dude noticed that my clients come in looking one way but they leave looking another way. And he wanted me to braid his hair, and I didn't feel comfortable with that. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? But it's because he's watching, he's paying attention. And
Mm-hmm.
so you just never know who's watching. My mom used to tell me that all the time. You don't know who's watching and how people understand your coming and going and your patterns. But then you realize that you're watching too. Like I know how all of our neighbors come and go. And I
Mm-hmm.
might know a little bit more now because I'm home due to quarantine, but
Yes.
someone's always watching it, and most of the time you're watching because you're watching. You're just
Mm-hmm.
aware of your surroundings. But there's that person that's not. They're watching because they have an ulterior motive
Exactly.
that is going to be in regards to you that could end your life, change your life, alter your life, and just change who you are as a person.
Mm-hmm. And what you were speaking on, was that
I feel like it's Zeus in there tripping.
what you were speaking on as far as the knowing your surroundings. Remember, you would ask me why why I always went different ways.
Yes.
I didn't like. I would
Chris
always
won't go the same way home.
I won't go the same way home every time. I would always switch it up because, like I told her, you never know who's watching, and
Yeah.
you never know who's watching you. Like I've even had situations where I didn't want nobody in our apartment. I didn't want nobody in our house because
Yes.
you never know somebody else's ulterior motive.
In their mind and what they're thinking. Whenever I'm quicker to make a new friend, a new couple, and I'm like, we should hang out. And Chris like, not at our house. Like we can get out, we can this, we can that, because until we assess, and you can think somebody all day long like that. It's just a
Mm-hmm.
double-edged sword, right? You can think someone all day long, and then you get around them, and they get, their plan is to make you feel comfortable, and
Exactly.
now boom. So Chris has made me even more aware to, not, you don't want to prejudge people. You don't want to assume everybody's
Mm-hmm.
bad, right? But you also want to be aware, because
That's what I'm saying is just
yeah,
be aware of it.
yeah,
So, I'm
yeah.
sorry, I feel like I cut you off.
No, you're fine.
So yeah, I just want you to be aware and think about each situation because if there's one thing that happens, there's always multiple things that can happen after.
Absolutely.
So yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, no.
No, I
I
wasn't
mean, I'm
saying
just
it.
thinking about it because Chris gets on to me plenty of times to make me be mindful of what's going on, because I'm quick to see somebody walking, a mother and a child or a family, and like, oh, let me get them a ride, let me pull over and see if they're okay. And then I'll tell Chris, and Chris is like, no, like that's not safe. And naturally, because didn't have a car for so long in my adulthood, and I was on the bus, and people would see me walking, friends and family knew I didn't have a car, and no one at least offered to take me to the grocery store, pick me up. Weather would be bad, I had to ride the bus. So when I see the same, now my giving heart wants to say, oh, let me pick you up, let me see if you're okay. And Chris is like,
My
that's,
rebuttal is some people are just not having a good day
yeah,
and they will do things to mess up yours.
yeah. So I mean, I definitely have, the good in me sees the good in people, but I definitely have to be mindful that people can see the good in me and take advantage of that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I have to be mindful for and be careful with, because I mean, it's just reality of the world we live in.
Exactly. Well, that was the end of this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap us up. You good, babe?
Yeah, I'm good.
Watch Antebellum. It's got Janae.
Janelle
Janelle
Monáe.
Monáe in it. Why did I say Janae like from the game? It's got Janelle Monáe in it, you guys. At one point when he told him to sing, Chris hit me for this too. Like Chris has this thing that he'll be like, "Stop that!" But at one point he told him to sing, and like he was yelling at Janelle Monáe, and he was like, "Sing," and I was like, "Let your booty do the yoga flex." Flex. Chris was like, "No."
When she decided to say that, it was at the most messed up time.
You know how you get awkward when you uncomfortable? I was like, please sing. Okay, let me sing for her. Let me put it to the like I was so uncomfortable.
It was so wrong.
Chris was like, no.
The
I
way
was like,
that she
okay, my
did it
bad.
was so wrong. They're like, then she started doing it.
Yeah.
I was like, nah, see.
He was yelling at her and I need to sing for her. She wasn't singing. She wasn't doing nothing. I was like, oh, let your booty do the yoga. Flex. 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 I was like,
I said yoga.
Yeah, right. Like, that's what I was. Like, and Chris was like, no.
Stop that.
You're uncomfortable, but deal with it. All right, you guys. With that being said, if you've been here this long, subscribe, honey. Hit the notification bell, like and comment on this video. Make sure you select all so you get this content every Wednesday. Another video done by Chris with content. So good job, babe. Good job. Let him know how he's doing. He's getting definitely more into it because typically I do the content, the thumbnails, put everything together. But Chris is and he do the editing. But
I
he
talks as well.
You're doing good, man. You know, you're doing good.
I was saying people say I don't talk much.
But actually, that's been the positive feedback is that so many people that meet you or know you, it's like he's not this person. I just gonna tell y'all like I tell everybody, I just bring the best out of him, okay? And it's just what it is. What it is. He got y'all not his wife, so he not gonna talk to y'all like that. But he does talk. He does have good content. He does have good ideas, and you get to see his personality and who he is. So kudos to you. We love the feedback. Like the feedback is coming from Chris, not even from me. Like people are used to me being this talkative person, but they're like, oh, Chris is talking. So
I got something to say.
that's right, baby. So with that being said, we're not here on Wednesdays. We're on all other social media platforms, which is Facebook, Pinterest, and Instagram. So be sure to follow us on our lovely conversations page. That's where we share giveaways, we share questions of the day, we share other content, we share what we're doing our day in lives or whatever the case can be. We share other marital couples, other relationships, and that's a lot of the places we get our content, a lot of places we get our messages, and you guys get to DM us and tune into us and plug into us. So be sure that you follow us to get into that content. And yeah, like that's all I got, babe. I think you did a great job. I think this was a good subject. No more movies like this for a while. I'll take some funny.
I'm not watching.
Yeah,
not one more.
yeah. So I'll take some funny movies. Moving forward.
Moving forward.
All right. So with that being said, you guys, we'll see you next Wednesday. Bye.